She declared, "I'm a free spirit. Monogamy is a social construct." I said, "Fascinating." Then I applied that philosophy to paying her bills. Her landlord didn't accept social constructs as rent. Original post 31 male just watched my ex-girlfriend Luna, 29, get evicted while screaming about capitalist depression. 3 months ago, she was lecturing me about how evolved she was for rejecting society's artificial boundaries. Now she's learning that landlords don't care about your philosophical awakening. We'd been together 2 years, met at a coffee shop where she was doing tarot readings. She was beautiful, artistic, had this whole ethereal vibe going. Worked part-time at a crystal shop, did some freelance intuitive counseling, made maybe $800 a month. I'm an electrician, decent money, nothing fancy. First year was good. She moved into my place after 6 months. I covered most expenses because I made more, seemed fair. She contributed when she could, mostly cooked these amazing vegan meals, kept plants everywhere, made the place feel alive. Then she discovered conscious relationships through some podcast. Started reading books about ethical non-monogamy and decolonizing love. Every dinner became a TED Talk about how humans weren't meant to pair bond, how jealousy was just ego, how love should be free. 8 weeks ago, she sat me down for a soul conversation. "Garrett, I need to honor my authentic self. I'm polyamorous. Monogamy is just a social construct created by patriarchy to control women's sexuality." Okay, so what does this mean for us? I want us to evolve beyond traditional relationship structures, open our hearts to infinite love possibilities. You want to see other people. That's such a limiting way to phrase it. I want to explore connections without artificial boundaries. But stay together? Of course. You're my primary partner, my soul anchor, but I need freedom to explore. I sat there for a minute. "And I can also see other people?" She laughed. "Theoretically, yes. But you're not really the type, are you? You're more traditional. Steady. That's what I love about you." Translation: she wanted to sleep around while I paid the bills. "Luna, I'm not comfortable with this." Growth isn't comfortable, Garrett. This is about expanding consciousness. Don't you want to evolve? We went back and forth for an hour. She had an answer for everything. Jealousy was just programming. Monogamy was ownership. My discomfort was societal conditioning I needed to unlearn. Finally, she dropped the bomb. "Actually, I've already been exploring this with someone. Dimitri from my workshop. We have a powerful connection. Very twin flame energy. You've been cheating on me." That word is so violent. There's no such thing as cheating when you reject the entire framework of possession. Get out. You're being ruled by ego. This is exactly the toxic masculinity that, "Luna, leave, now." She was shocked. Started crying about how I was choosing conformity over love, how I was spiritually stunted, how she thought I was different. Took her 3 hours to pack. Kept stopping to tell me I was making a soul-level mistake. I just helped carry boxes to her friend's car. That night, I did something interesting. Pulled up my laptop and started researching. If social constructs weren't real, if everything was just made-up human rules, then why was I following them? Update 1. The day after Luna moved out, the text started. "My apartment application got rejected. I need you to co-sign." Why would I co-sign for an apartment? Because you know I can't qualify alone. My credit is still healing from my spiritual journey phase. She met when she maxed out credit cards for a meditation retreat. Sorry, but co-signing is just a social construct. I'm evolving beyond artificial financial boundaries. This isn't funny, Garrett. I'm not joking. You opened my eyes. These made-up rules about money and obligations, I'm transcending them. She called immediately. "You can't just stop helping me because we broke up. We didn't break up. You rejected the entire concept of traditional relationship. I'm just following your philosophy. I need that apartment. Where am I supposed to live? Housing is just a construct. Be free." She hung up. 2 days later, new crisis. Her car insurance was due. For context, I'd been paying it for a year because she couldn't afford it after buying $500 in sacred geometry art. "Garrett, my insurance is canceled if I don't pay by tomorrow." Insurance is just institutionalized fear. You taught me that. I need my car. Need is an illusion created by attachment. Stop throwing my words back at me. I'm not. I'm genuinely embracing your philosophy. Money is fake, obligations are constructs, everything is fluid. Very freeing, actually. Meanwhile, Dimitri the twin flame wasn't answering her calls. Shocking development. The tantric meditation instructor living in his mom's garage wasn't eager to support her financially. By week 2, she was getting desperate. Showed up at my place at 11 p.m. Please, Garrett, I know you're hurt, but this is cruel. What's cruel? I'm honoring my authentic self, just like you taught me. My authentic self needs shelter and food. Those are just physical plane concerns. You're so evolved, surely you can transcend them. She tried to push past me into the apartment. I live here. Lived. Past tense. Also, living somewhere implies ownership and boundaries. That's not very enlightened. I have mail here. Legally, that means legal systems are just collective agreements. We're beyond that, remember? She actually stomped her foot. You're being an asshole. I'm being free. Isn't that what you wanted? Update 2. Week 3 brought peak Luna. First, she tried emotional manipulation. Sent a 20-minute voice note about how we were soul contracts and I was violating cosmic law by abandoning her. Apparently the universe wanted me to pay her rent but also be cool with her banging Dimitri. Convenient. Then came the social media campaign. Posted these long poetic statuses about when empaths love narcissists and the spiritual woman's burden in relationships with unconscious men. Her friends ate it up. Comments about toxic masculinity, emotional violence, financial abuse. My buddy Jerome screenshotted them for me. I don't do social media much, but I made an exception. Posted once. Funny how social constructs become real important when the rent's due. Attached a screenshot of her monogamy is ownership text. Her post got deleted within an hour. But the real entertainment started when she realized I'd stopped paying for more than just insurance. See, I'd been covering a bunch of stuff. Her phone bill. She was on my family plan. Netflix, Spotify, HBO Max, all my accounts. Her yoga class membership, $150 a month for therapeutic movement. Her meal delivery service because cooking for one person was energetically wasteful. One by one, they all got cut off. The phone was the best. She went to call me to complain about Netflix not working and no service. Had to use her friend's phone. You canceled my phone? I canceled my phone line that you were using. Phones are just electronic leashes anyway, right? How am I supposed to work? I thought your intuitive counseling transcended technology? My clients contact me through Instagram. Digital connection is an illusion. Real souls find each other through energy. I hate you. Hate is just love in shadow form. Or did I misunderstand that workshop? Her friend Sage grabbed the phone. Garrett, this is seriously messed up. You're trying to destroy her life. I'm applying her exact philosophy. If it's destroying her life, what does that say about the philosophy? You're twisting everything. Quote me one thing I've said that she didn't say first. Silence. That's different. When Luna talks about transcending constructs, she means evolving past jealousy and possession. And when I do it, I mean evolving past financial obligation. Same concept. You know that's not the same. Why? Because one benefits her and one doesn't? They hung up. Update 3. Month 2 of Luna's spiritual journey into poverty was eventful. She'd moved in with her friend River, yes really, but that lasted exactly 12 days. Turns out River's boyfriend wasn't enlightened enough to be cool with Luna walking around in lingerie at 2 a.m. because clothes are prisons for the soul. Next stop, Dimitri's mom's garage. That lasted 4 days. His mom wasn't interested in housing her son's twin flame, who couldn't contribute to utilities because money is just energy that should flow freely. She tried couch surfing through her spiritual community. You know what's hilarious? All those people who post about abundance mindset and manifestation get real scarce when you actually need abundance manifested in the form of a couch. Week 7, she showed up at my work, full drama mode. Crying, begging, making a scene in front of my coworkers. Please, I'm sleeping in my car. Cars are just metal boxes. You're free now, remember? It's November, it's getting cold. Temperature is just sensation. Very Buddhist of you to experience it fully. My supervisor, Tony, came over. Everything okay here? My ex is having some philosophical differences with reality, I said. Luna turned on him. He's being financially abusive. We were together 2 years. Tony, who'd been through a rough divorce, just looked at her. Did you live together? Yes. Was it his place? Yes, but did you pay rent? That's not. Did you cheat on him? Luna's mouth opened and closed like a fish. "Ma'am, you need to leave before I call security." She left, but not before screaming that we were all slaves to the capitalist matrix, and she was choosing love over fear. Tony bought me a beer after work. "She really told you monogamy was a social construct?" "Yep. Bet rent being due isn't a construct though." "Nope. My ex tried something similar, said marriage was just paper." "Know what else is just paper? Divorce settlements." We laughed, but honestly, I was starting to feel, not bad exactly, but tired. The high of turning her logic against her was wearing off. Update 4 Week 8 brought lawyers. Yeah, she actually found a lawyer, or rather, a law student named Phoenix, who was part of her conscious relationship workshop. I got served with some homebrew cease and desist about financial harassment and intentional infliction of emotional distress. It was printed on lavender paper and cited universal law and karmic precedent. I forwarded it to my cousin, who's an actual lawyer. She called me laughing so hard she could barely breathe. Karmic precedent? Did they just make that up? Probably. This isn't even legally formatted correctly. It mentions Mercury being in retrograde as a factor. I'm framing this. But Luna wasn't done. She organized what she called a healing circle for financial trauma, but was basically a GoFundMe with drums. Posted it everywhere, talking about how she was a victim of spiritual domestic violence and needed support to rebuild after narcissistic abuse. She raised $73. One donor commented, "Maybe get a job." Luna replied with a 500-word essay about how job was a colonizer word and she was a light worker deserving of community support. The donor asked for their $5 back. Then came the real desperation move. She started dating Carl, this 52-year-old guy from her yoga class who owned a plumbing business. Posted constantly about their sacred connection and how age is just a number and old souls recognize each other. My friend Jerome was dying. Bro, she went from twin flames to sugar daddy in 3 weeks. That was fast. Check her latest post. She'd written this whole thing about how conscious relationships don't follow conventional patterns, and love shows up in unexpected forms, and wisdom and stability are the new sexy. Carl commented, "Can't wait for our dinner tonight, beautiful." She replied, "At that nice steakhouse?" Someone else commented, "Thought you were vegan?" She deleted the whole thread. But here's where it gets good. Remember how she said I was too traditional to date multiple people? Well, I'd actually started seeing someone. Ashley, a paramedic I met at the gym. Down to earth, has her life together, laughs at my dad jokes. We ran into Luna and Carl at a restaurant. The look on her face when she saw me with Ashley was priceless. Luna came over to our table, Carl trailing behind looking confused. "So you replaced me already?" Replaced implies you had a position. Positions imply structure. Structure is, stop it. "This is Ashley. Ashley Luna." Ashley smiled. "Oh, the one who thinks monogamy is a social construct?" Luna's eye twitched. "It is. Cool. So is showering, but I still do it." Carl finally spoke up. "Luna, who is this?" "My ex who abandoned me in my time of growth." I looked at Carl. "She means when she cheated and I kicked her out." Carl's face changed. "You said you were single for a year." "Time is relative." "No, it's really not," Ashley said, sipping her wine. Carl looked at me. "She living with you?" "Nope." "She asked you for money?" "Within a week." "She mentioned twin flames?" "Constantly." Carl nodded slowly, then looked at Luna. "I'll get the check at our table. You'll need to find your own ride home." "Carl, you can't just—" "Actually, I can. My car, my choice. Very liberating." He walked away. Luna stood there, vibrating with rage. "You poisoned him against me. I just answered his questions." "This is all your fault." Ashley looked up. "Didn't you choose to explore connections without artificial boundaries?" Seems like you found the natural boundary. It's called consequences." Update 5. The final act came week 10. Luna got evicted from wherever she'd been staying. Showed up at my place with 2 suitcases and mascara streaming down her face. "I have nowhere to go." "That's rough." "Garrett, please, I'm sorry. I was wrong about everything." "Wrong about what specifically?" "All of it. The polyamory, the conscious relationship stuff, Dimitri. So monogamy isn't a social construct?" She paused. You could see her fighting internally. Maybe it is, but some social constructs are useful." "Interesting. Which ones?" "The ones that help people survive." "Like financial obligations?" Her jaw clenched. "Yes." "And exclusive relationships?" "Yes." So you're saying society created these structures for a reason? Yes. Okay, yes. Are you happy? I was wrong. I need help. I need somewhere to stay. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Part of me wanted to let her in, maybe just for a night. I'm not actually heartless. Then she said, if you ever really loved me, you'll help me. And there it was, the manipulation. Even now, even apologizing, she was trying to use my feelings against me. Luna, I did love you. Past tense. You killed that when you decided our relationship was just another construct to transcend. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. It was a philosophy. You believed it right up until it stopped benefiting you. That's not true. What's Dimitri's last name? What? Your twin flame, what's his last name? She blinked. That doesn't matter. You were ready to blow up our relationship for someone whose last name you don't know. Last names are just social constructs, yeah, but they're useful when you need to find someone who owes you rent money, aren't they? She tried one more thing. I'll call the cops. Say you're keeping my stuff. What stuff? You took everything. I left things. Name one. She couldn't. Luna, go to your parents. They said I need to learn responsibility. Sounds like good advice. They're in Iowa. So? I don't have gas money. I pulled out my wallet, handed her $40. Gas money. One time. Never contact me again. She took it, stared at it, then at me. $40? After 2 years? It's more than you ever contributed to gas. I gave you everything. You gave me speeches about consciousness while I paid for everything. There's a difference. She grabbed the money and left. Slammed the door so hard my neighbor texted asking if I was okay. Update 6. It's been 6 weeks since that night. Here's where everyone ended up. Luna moved back to Iowa. According to mutual friends, she's working at her dad's hardware store. Posted once about how Mercury retrograde forced a strategic retreat to the maternal homeland for chakra realignment. Translation: broke and living with parents. Dimitri started dating another girl from the Conscious Relationship workshop. They lasted 2 weeks before she realized twin flame was his code for "we'll sleep with you but not pay for anything." Carl actually reached out to thank me. We grabbed a beer. Turns out Luna had hit him up for $3,000 for a healing retreat after knowing him for 5 days. He said our conversation saved him from making a huge mistake. River and Sage still post about toxic masculinity and financial abuse, but nobody takes them seriously after Luna admitted on social media that she'd been living rent-free with me for 18 months while cheating. The best development? Luna started a podcast called Conscious Consequences: When Spiritual Evolution Meets Material Reality. Episode 1 was about navigating abundance blocks after toxic relationships. Episode 2 was why working retail is actually a spiritual practice. There's no episode 3. Ashley and I are still dating. Taking it slow. She pays for her own stuff, I pay for mine. Sometimes we treat each other. It's normal. Boring even. I love it. Last week, got a text from an unknown number. Hi, this is Luna's mom. She asked me to tell you she's sorry and hopes you can forgive her someday. Why didn't she text herself? She says direct communication would disturb both your energy fields during Mercury retrograde. It's not in retrograde. I know. She also doesn't have a phone anymore. Couldn't afford it. I didn't respond, but I did smile. Here's what I learned. When someone tells you their values, believe them. But also watch what happens when those values cost them something. Luna loved the idea of transcending social constructs, right up until those constructs were the only things keeping her housed and fed. She wanted the freedom of polyamory, but the security of monogamy. The independence of a free spirit, but the support of a traditional relationship. The enlightenment of rejecting materialism, but the comfort of someone else paying for everything. In the end, she transcended one thing successfully: my life. And honestly, my energy field has never been better. Final update. One last thing happened that I have to share. 3 days ago, Luna sent an email. Not to me, she sent it to Ashley's work email. She stalked her LinkedIn. Ashley forwarded it to me, laughing her ass off. Subject: woman-to-woman sacred communication. Sister, I'm reaching out in divine feminine solidarity to warn you about Garrett. While he may seem stable and grounded, he's actually displaying severe signs of spiritual bypassing and emotional unavailability. His inability to forgive and evolve past conventional relationship structures shows deep inner child wounding that he refuses to address. I'm not saying this from a place of jealousy. I've transcended such base emotions, but from genuine concern for another woman's journey. Garrett weaponized my spiritual growth against me, using my evolved consciousness as a tool for financial manipulation. He will seem supportive at first, but the moment you try to expand beyond his narrow definition of partnership, he'll reveal his true nature. He's trapped in third-dimensional thinking and will try to trap you too. If you want to discuss this further, I'm available for conscious communication circles via Zoom. My rate is $50 per hour, though I'm open to energy exchange if money is tight. In Sisterhood and Light, Luna PS, also he's terrible at oral. Just thought you should know. Ashley's response, CCing me. Luna, thanks for the warning. Super helpful. Quick notes. 1. Garrett's great at forgiveness. He forgave me for eating his leftover Thai food last week. Twice. 2. His narrow definition of partnership includes wild concepts like not sleeping with other people and contributing financially. I know, crazy stuff. 3. Speaking of financial manipulation, didn't you live rent-free in his apartment for 18 months while secretly dating someone else? Just checking my notes here. 4. $50 an hour for Zoom calls? That's interesting. Garrett mentioned you thought jobs were colonizer concepts. Glad you're decolonizing that hourly rate though. 5. P.S. Definitely not having that problem. Like, at all. Maybe it was just you? Something to meditate on. Hope Iowa's treating you well. I hear hardware stores are very grounding for chakra work. Namaste or whatever. Ashley P.S. We're using your old yoga mat as a doormat. It really ties the entryway together. I'm marrying Ashley. Not because of the email, though that response was legendary, but because she gets it. She gets that relationships aren't about transcending reality or evolving past human nature. They're about finding someone whose version of reality matches yours. Luna wanted to live in a world where actions don't have consequences, where you can take without giving, where commitment is optional, but support is mandatory. When reality didn't match her philosophy, she didn't question the philosophy. She blamed reality. Last I heard, she's dating a guy named Brad who manages a GameStop. He drives a pickup truck, votes Republican, and thinks yoga is stretching for people who can't admit they're stretching. Guess those social constructs weren't so bad after all. As for me, I'm boring. Happily, conventionally, monogamously boring. I pay my bills, go to work, come home to the same person every night. We watch Netflix that we both pay for, eat food we took turns buying, and sleep in a bed we went halves on. It's the most evolutionary thing I've ever done.